Hi, my name is Vesa Painen from University of Eastern Finland. I'm here in Berlin in OEB 2021 to see what are the possibilities and what are the needs in our university to update our teaching. I started this meeting that lasts for 3 days with a walk through all these exhibitions. There were companies that are making excellent simulations for different kind of laboratories. There were companies that are making different kind of online learning platforms or different kind of camera setups or different kind of small boxes in which you can use for your online teaching. But let's see, during these 3 days, what else I can find. I had just very excellent discussion with Mary Filtron from US. She was forcing us to think on the positive side that we have faced during this COVID situation. So what has happened for the student-teacher interaction? What has happened for the teacher-teacher interaction? And for the whole university? What are new tools that we have learned? And not only to think that, okay, everything was so bad. Very excellent. And she's a biology student, so I really enjoyed it. On these discussions with Mary Filtron and all the teachers across the Europe and also Deutsche Bahn, etc. So we had a very large discussion group. We've tried to find good things that we have learned during these last 2 years during this COVID situation, and something that we can carry on in the future. There are 5 different things. First of all, we started to think that the students are real humans. They have feelings. They are not just numbers in the lecture room. The other thing that appeared is, okay, actually it's the learner ecosystem that is in the center of this learning. So not only the learner, but also does he or she have a place to study? And who are other people there in the same place where he or she is joining the Zoom or Teams, etc. So might be that in all cases, not all the students are able to put the camera on or the microphone on or even to use the computers, because there might be limited number of these devices. The third thing that appeared, that in all cases we have now the chat. Previously there was always 90-minute monologue in these lectures, but now even the introvert, the shy people are asking questions. They can have a chat. Even in the lecture room, they can write that, okay, I didn't understand that, etc. So it's more interaction. The fourth thing that appeared quite often spontaneously, that, okay, the students were making discussions online between with other students. So we can have some breakout rooms or some local meetings among the students, so they are carrying each other. And the fifth thing was, of course, that now everybody must learn to use these devices. Previously we were saying, okay, I don't need Moodle anymore, because I'm the professor, I'm just giving the lectures, and everybody else is doing these, using these devices. But now everybody must do it. So they must know that, okay, how they can use this Moodle or whatever, and where I can share these things, especially the information of the students. So all these things are the good sides of COVID. It's now Thursday morning, and there was just a plenary by Fons Tropenars and Marlene Sticker. Fons was saying that okay, we have different goals in, for example, in teaching we can have as much students as possible and as much interaction as possible, and these are on different axes, so we have to have some kind of combination to have the better product, so the better teaching. And in Marlen's talk, there was more critical comments on learning analytics and whether we should we use different platforms and what we are doing with the data that they are collecting, and do we even much care on what's happening in our activity information that they are collecting. And the take home message of this whole plenary was that the teachers are not very much in the front in this changing the education. And the reason is, first of all, that the students are alone. So if we take students and put them work together, that doesn't cost a lot. And then they can start developing something fine, like flipped classroom or whatever. And the other thing is that the education is based on no trust. That was Marlene Sticker was saying, and she said that if we start trusting at least a little bit on the students, we can then modulate the evaluation and this whole learning process. And that could be very positive. On Thursday afternoon in OEB 2021, I was joining few seminars. The first one was on the blended or actually hybrid teaching. And what I learned that actually we don't have to take anything from the majority of the universities. We have the same. We have lectures that are recorded, and much of them you are able to watch them online. What we can learn is that for example, in Netherlands, they have developed classrooms for this hybrid teaching. So you can have 10 students in the same room, and then you have a large screen in which you can have 20 or even 100 faces of those online learners. And they were saying that, okay, it's not on the delivery of the information, it's on discussing. So it was actually flipped classroom. The other thing that appeared in the same seminar was on art school, where there was some young teachers presenting the problem that if you are teaching art for the people, it's all on doing hands. You're learning different kind of techniques, like putting metal pieces together, and you can't do that at all. And for them, they were using different kind of tools during these COVID times or for the discussion. So their students were saying that if you want to have a PowerPoint slide, just send it to us so we can watch it later. They are not using their time to listen to the lecture. Then the best part of this afternoon was from Donald Clark from Scotland. He's been doing movies and short films, etc. for ages. So he's quite much know everything that is on this audiovisual part. And he was showing plenty of research on this stuff that, okay, actually, if you are recording 90 minutes of the lecture, it's horrible. You must do 10-minute lecture. And even then, if you are showing the lecturer and the PowerPoint at the same time, they are not learning anything. So please use just the PowerPoint, white background, black text, but don't read. the same stuff because it's all again it's mixing. And don't worry so much on the high quality of the video. Think on the high quality of the audio because the audio is much better learned if it's good quality. But we can adjust our whistle even for quite bad quality of the video product. It's now Friday morning and we had just the plenary on the future skills and on the difference in the education on this planet. So there is a very large division happening at the moment. There was first Perttu Pölönen who was describing that the computers are much better on calculating and combining information. But one thing that they can't do, they can't be the human element. So therefore, in the future, my work in the classroom is to be the human element, to put the students to make some new questions. So they can make questions, I can help them to find the link between completely different things and to make with that kind of elements something that the computers can do. But even more, there was from UNESCO, there was Borhen Chakron. I had just very long talk with him and with a coffee cup, and it was very excellent to see how different countries are facing this lockdown. When we had 1.7 billion students and school kids online, and several times they didn't have even the internet connection or the computers. So the information was delivered with radio or TV. So these countries that have been behind in the education, in the future, it seems to be that the gap between the advanced countries and those that are failing, that will be even much larger than ever before. And this kind of discussion made me a little bit sad. Now on Friday afternoon, I was joining a seminar on these informal or non-formal learning, and I'm not sure how much there was new things because we have open university, we have these lifelong learning, etc. And so it's pretty much the same as we have in our institute. Well, the good point on that was an example of having different kind of goals for different kind of learners. So the students can choose what they want to do, and then they will do it. And so the evaluation can be different for actually everybody. But after that, I was also discussing a long chat with the University of Helsinki to help them to use the Zoom in their teaching more efficient. So it was very nice that I can give something for someone. And now the late afternoon is going to be on my teaching in Joensuu, or actually anywhere in Finland with Zoom. So I think this conference is pretty much over for me, and I hope this is not the last one. So these conferences can be very effective if you are open, and open also your mouth and discuss and discuss and discuss. So, cheers for it.